Good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Tai Chi. I have a couple of things that I'm going to talk about real quick. First, as we go through this class and probably the next couple of classes in Tai Chi, I am going to be wrapping up what we have been doing and getting ready for something else. I have not yet quite decided what that something else is going to be, but I am going to wrap this up. I have said before that we were going to keep going on with Yang Sao Tai Chi. And as I'm looking at some of the things that I'm doing and some of the other things that I'm doing and what I've been doing in this class, I think that I need to revisit what it is I'm doing here and how I can better develop, if you will, this class as a class more than a review and exhibition and all of the things that I have been doing, which are valuable because there's recordings and there's quite a bit of information, there's quite a bit of teaching that I've done. But I think there could be more. I want to look at it. I need a little bit of time to do that. And the other thing that I've been doing, I'm going to post something from that later this morning. The radio show that I had mentioned and the stories that I've written, The Ambassador by Terry Morgan, that is moving along. I intend to move it along. I intend to do quite a bit with it. And I welcome everyone who wants to read the story, wants to listen to the story. Channel15radio.com, old-time radio drama for a new era. That story is tightly woven with what I do in this class. It's my story. I wrote it. It's not biography. It's not autobiography. It's fiction. It is totally fiction. As the author, I'm part of all of the characters, right? So it's my story. That has to include martial arts, right? It has to. I can't tell a story that has got any depth to it and not include martial arts. It's been too big a part of everything I've done for the last 40 years and for the next, if I'm lucky, 20. I'm getting up there. All right, so maybe that 30 is probably not going to happen. It's not. But there are all sorts of things that have yet to be done. And as I look forward to what I'm going to be doing next, I'm paying attention to that. What haven't I done? What have I done? In teaching, in Tai Chi, I've talked a lot about, excuse me, still trying. In Tai Chi, I've talked a lot about the need to relax, to be able to quiet the mind. This is true for Xingyi, for Bagua, for especially for Qigong. That sense of building quiet. That as we do simple standing practice, right? Simple standing practice. Back straight. Don't lean back. Don't lean forward. Straight. All right? Arms rounded. Knees bent. A high horse stance. Right? It's easy to lean back. It is. Stay there. All right, relax. Simple practice, right? That's it. Hold the ball. Big circle. You can hold this ball too. Stay there. Breathe. Change hands. Relax. Breathe. All right. Simple practice. This part of Tai Chi practice asks us to clear away everything. We don't have to pay attention to this movement connected to that movement. We need to pay attention to what's going on internally and circulate that internal energy. The last several days, actually better than the last month, more than that really, but this last month has been a lot of changes for me, and that is, again, part of why I'm teaching Tai Chi this morning and not Xing Yi. It's also part of why I'm talking about practice and doing a lot of things as future, as well as doing a couple things right now. Being able to calm down enough that I could practice has been a challenge. It has. Not fun. Not fun. This is the not fun step that I want to get rid of, okay? And as I'm going through this, it does require that I pay attention to whether or not I'm able to practice today. Well, today I can. There's some issues. There's still some issues. There's quite a few issues that I don't think are going to be resolved quickly. But my hope is, and I have to believe, they will get resolved. And that I'm going to be able to start over. Not my choice, but that if I have to do that, that's where I'm going. Start over and begin a few things, including some changes in this class and what I'm doing in the teaching, that I hope you will appreciate, and I welcome your comments, suggestions as I go through this process. Feet about shoulder width apart, basic stretch. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, bend the knees, hands circle to the front, back around to both sides, up along center line. Reach out. Again. One more time. Fingertips reach up. Elbows drop down. Wrists, hands return to your sides. All right. I have talked about Tai Chi. I've talked about different styles. I've talked about different practices. I'm going to work right now on the first part of Yang style Tai Chi, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about part 3. I am winding it up, all right? This is the 27th, probably one more week, one more class on Tai Chi and winding this up, and then I'll have what we're doing next. Feet together, stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Hands are relaxed, fingertips point down. So you want to stretch your hands so your fingertips point down. Pull up, breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Salute. And breathe out. And breathe in. Sink. Open the heel. Turn the toes. Center. Raise the arms. Press down. Shift left. Open right. Step 3. Turn. Step 3. Press. Push. Single whip. Raise your hands. White crane spreads its wings. Brush knee. Hamstring loop. Brush knee. Step up, hamstring loop again. One more time, brush knee. Shift back. Deflect downward. Step through, parry, and punch. Shift back, close the door. Turn. Crossing hands. Open hands, palms up, press down. Stand straight, close the foot, salute. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Alright, I left out repetition of brush knee in the middle because I would run out of space if I did. So after the first brush knee, step up, hamstring the loop. We have brush knee, one more time, brush knee. Step up, hamstring the loop. Brush knee again. Alright, that sequence is the traditional first part of Yang style Tai Chi. In part 3, we see repetition again, the same as in part 2, but we have a few differences. So for part 3, here, single whip, parting the horse's mane. Seen this before, have we? Right? Turn around. Cloud hands. Fair lady works the shuttles. And here we go again. I'm going to stop with that for just a moment. That repetition is, again, it's something that is part of traditional Yang style. We see it in all of the traditional Tai Chi forms. There's a repetition. It gives us what's important in that form. Excuse me. In Wudang Tai Chi, we have repetition of ward off, roll back, press and push, double cloud hands and single cloud hands. That sequence, and I'll do that in a different class another time. That sequence repeats. It is something that is important for Wudang Tai Chi, and the repetition of ward off, roll back, press and push is also something that all Tai Chi systems repeat. Those 4 moves, ward off, roll back, press and push, are primary applications, not the movements, the intent behind. This is ward off. This is roll back. This is press. This is pull down, right? Roll back, pull down. Pong, ward off. Lu, pull down. Ji, press. An, push. Ward off, roll back. Ward off, pull down, press and push. Yeah, I just said that. I have to check myself sometimes. In my study, partly because as I was starting, there were some things that I really didn't understand. I didn't. And as I developed my skills, I began to, oh wait, that's not quite exactly what that means, is it? That's not quite what an application is in Tai Chi, is it? That recognition that it's not just this particular movement is part of what I learned later. Roll back, shift back, roll, press, push. There's pull down right here. Pull down. Pull down. That basic movement has 2 applications. 3 sort of, but 2. So, pull down and press. Both are part of, here, pull down. When we pull in, there has to be part of press in order to connect with that pull. That idea that the hands stick, this is something that we also learn in application. It's something that is part of push hands practice in Tai Chi. That as I grab your arm here, I'm not going to grab your arm here, I'm going to grab your arm here. But just so you know, all right, I want your elbow, I don't want your arm, I want your elbow. I just let you know, all right, when I do that, my hand should stay. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter, my hand's going to go with you. That's sticking, following. When I can do that, it's just really hard for you to get away. I'm not the only one who can do that, by the way. There's a lot of Tai Chi players out there that have this skill. It's something we train. So anyone who's trained, no matter what system of Tai Chi they've trained, if they learn some push hands, this is a skill that you've learned. That Sticking is part of what we learn how to do when we're practicing the form pull down. Or, never mind, I'm on the other side. I'm just on the other side with this. All right, that effort, there it is, stuck right there, is internal. It's not let me grab as tight as I can hold, that you won't be able to hold. You won't. There will be someone who will be stronger than that, and they will pull your fingers away and move your hand away. It's not your fingers that grip. It's that internal energy. It's that internal workmanship. It's the idea that my hand isn't going anywhere. It's super glued. It's going to stay there. It's stuck. It's not moving. You can do whatever you want to with your hand. My hand, with your arm, and my hand's going to stay there. I'm just going to go with you. I'm going to follow. That skill, again, something that every Tai Chi system, every Tai Chi player who learns push hands learns a skill. Or works at it, introduced to it, I'll put it that way. Not everybody stays long enough to learn, so there's that, but there's the progression of learning that I've talked about repeatedly. We start with the form, we start paying attention to what we're doing. Standing practice. Tai Chi standing practice. We have posting practice for Xingyi too. This is Tai Chi. Hold the ball. Hold the ball with the other hand. Right? We practice this to develop that inner sense of placement, position, posture, the same as we want to develop some flexibility so that we can move. As we do that, we gain a better understanding of our own body, and we start to develop a connection between the breath, the physical breath, and the body. We begin to develop the qi, the internal breath, and connecting that with the flow of energy through the movement. It's different than Jing. Kinetic energy is part of the movement. It's physics. Jing is your internal energy. Moving that through your form is one of the skills that you want to develop. But it's not just the movement. It's not. There's more to it. Bringing Shin, your heart, Yi, your mind, your spirit, Shin, all into and integrating all of that with your forms and your practice is first step. Developing that, all of it, all of the skills, second step. That's what we work on repeatedly. So feet together, stand straight. Quiet. What's my intention in my movement? To be moderately lively, well placed, and well centered. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sink. Open. I paid attention to placement, centering, being moderately lively in my movement. Quiet movement. Reflective. trying not to think about anything, just empty. Different character in the movement. Different quality in the movement. First, my intention was to be well placed, well centered, and lively. Right? Second, my intention was to be, I still want to be well placed and well centered. My movement should be quiet, empty, the mind, not trying anything. Just, it's there. Each movement still has timing, still has placement, still has connection with the breath, still has everything else there. The intent's different. And as we practice over time, we develop that skill as well. So that one day I may feel that I'm ready, I'm lively, I'm ready to go. Here we go. Let's go. Another day, no, it is, not gonna happen. Do I not practice when I'm feeling lively? Of course not. That's the best time to practice, right? Do I not practice when I'm just not kind of feeling it? Of course not, because that's also a very good time to practice. Are there times when I shouldn't practice? Yeah. That I'm just not feeling it. If that's because of something that you cannot let go of for the time that you're practicing, you may have to come back to it. I got a bunch of stuff waiting for me out there. I'm going to come back to it. I'll get there. That lets me come in here, practice, and teach. It's out there, I'm going to get to. Being able to do that is a skill. Sometimes it works, sometimes I just can't leave it out there, and that's why I don't show up for class. That's been the case recently. That is something that happens to all of us. If we practice for more than a few weeks, it's going to happen. What do we do with that? We get back up and do it again, right? Each time we take a break, we also get to renew. I'm making lemonade here. We also get to renew whatever it was that brought us to practice in the first place. Why am I here? What happened that I got started with my practice? And how does that give you an insight? How does that case study, it's a business school now, case study, how does that case study connect to any aspect, maybe it doesn't, of what you're doing? There's value if it does connect, and there's value if it does not. I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not going to promise what I'm teaching tomorrow. I may be still teaching Tai Chi again. I may be back to Xingyi. Friday will be Qigong class. And there will be a new presentation video that I'm going to post later on today about channel15radio.com. I hope you'll take a listen. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.